All right, this is Black Prepper coming from you to dispel some of the crazy information that's out there that black people don't prep. Well, there are black preppers out there. As of right now, my network has two families in it 10 people, uh, which for a person to count, I think it's pretty good. Not too large, not too small. 10 people right now could get bigger, who knows? Right now, the way it's broken down, we've got about 75% of the group is men, another 25% women and small children. Uh, Now, our preparedness is primarily for disaster relief, um, disaster relief type weather, I should say. I've lived through several disaster areas in the Midwest, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri. Uh, I've lived through some disasters in Florida. So, um, tornadoes to hurricanes, each a little different, but although they might be different, they still carry the same basic emergency needs that I think the average American should be preparing for on a regular basis. If you live in any kind of area that has had a disaster in the last 20, 30 years, you should probably be prepared um, to protect yourself, your family, and your valuables. The one thing I'm very aware of, you cannot have enough water. Prepping should be a lifestyle. From the amount of water you use to brush your teeth to the portion of food you eat at meal times, you should be aware of how much water you're using when you brush your teeth. Are you the type of person that likes to leave the water running? Or are you the type of person that turns the water off when you're brushing your teeth? Are you the type of person that will gorge yourself with every single meal just because you can? Or are you the person that um, not counts your calories, but you eat enough to feel that you've eaten, and you allow your body to go through a natural metabolism to get hungry again. You should be keenly aware of how many calories you need personally on a daily basis. Everyone does not use, need, or burn the same amount of calories every day. So to go with a blanket statement that you need 3,000 calories, 4,000 calories on any given day might not be accurate, because depending on even the tasks that you do within your group, that's going to change the dynamics on how much you eat. Are you the person that stays at by the campfire stoking the fire? Are you the person that goes and lugs lumber from one place to the next? Are you the person that goes foraging all day and comes home in the evening? All three of those different types of people have three completely separate tasks, are going to require three separate amounts of calorie intake. Everyone does not eat the same thing. So um, you have to know how many calories you're burning based on what your job description is within your group to really prep the proper amount of food for yourself. The I think you should also have crossover groups. And what I mean by crossover groups is that someone in the group might have a logistical skill set for gathering food. Another person might have a tactical skill set with shelter. Another person might have an environmental focus with security, and yet another with medical and efficiency. So everyone in the group should know enough about the other people's skill sets in the group. You shouldn't leave everything to one person, because in the event that that one person becomes incapacitated or is no longer part of the group, is the group going to do? You really should cross-train a lot of the skill sets so that everyone gets enough of everything, but not all of everything. Of course, not everyone can know everything, but you can cross-train a lot of the skill sets so that everyone in the group has a solid working knowledge of what everyone else does in the group. And I think that's going to be one of the keys. I've known around, I've seen a lot of videos where some people are prepping for this big, huge event. I think really to get started, you should probably start small. Again, think about your immediate area, disaster emergencies, um, canned foods. Absolutely, why not? You definitely want to have canned foods. I mean, if you're going to be stationary around your home, a lot of times after a disaster, you can't get out. You may want to, but you can't. After, so you definitely are going to have canned foods that will meet a specific need because you're close to the home. You'll have access to a lot of resources near the home. As long as you put it together. Eventually, you might find yourself in a situation where you have to leave the home. When you find yourself in a situation where you have to leave the home, that's when you probably are going to be traveling a little bit lighter. You're probably not going to be taking canned foods with you. You're probably going to be taking some of the dried foods. They're a lot lighter. You can carry a lot more of it. So know what you're prepping and what you're prepping it for. The canned foods, I would imagine, again, primarily if you're going to be staying near the home and using that as a base for a little bit, you're probably going to want a lot of canned foods around. You don't have to carry it. You can store it someplace. You can store it. It sits for a very, very long time. But in the event that the area that you're in becomes unsafe, or you can no longer sustain an adequate defense, it might be in your best interest to pack up the dried foods and begin a migration out. And when you do that, again, the cans are going to be awfully heavy to carry. So different foods, you're saving different foods for different things, and be aware of that. And the one other thing that I like to think about is, do you have a process on how you're going to get resources to maximum? How are you going to utilize your resources to maximum efficiency? Do you know your neighborhood? I see all these. There was a video I saw a while back where someone was talking about who's going to live, who's going to die. I didn't really agree with that one to a large extent because despite some of your personal, you've got to dedicate some of your personal time to staying fit. There are some people that they can go to the doctor tomorrow and get a clean bill of health. Hey, nothing's wrong with me. I don't take any medications. I'm as healthy as a horse, but they can't carry a gallon of water 1 mile. How valuable is that person that can't carry a gallon of water 1 mile or log 100 yards to a fire pit? These are things to really think about. You consider yourself healthy, but there might be someone on medication that could walk 10 miles and still make it back. Someone who completely healthy, but man, just the thought of walking 10 miles is just exhausting to them. So being in some kind of shape is always going to be beneficial to you. You don't have to be in competitive shape. You're not running a marathon. You're not going for a strength competition, but you clearly should be in some type of shape if you are going to be getting prepared for anything. You should be able to run. You should be able to walk. You should be able to carry. You don't have to run a mile in 6.5 or 7 minutes, but you need to be able to at least walk 2-3 miles at a consistent pace in the event that you need to go get help. Can you carry a gallon of water around for 1 mile? Can you carry a gallon of water for a mile? If you take medications, work on natural alternatives. If there is none, ask your doctor or do research on your own online for alternative medicines that you can take in the event that your immediate dedicated medication is no longer available. What can you take in its place? You have to know what you can and cannot take. Some supplements that you might think or read about that you think is good for you could actually be a whole lot worse than if you did absolutely nothing. Um, if you need to render someone unconscious so you can help them, what are some over-the-counter medications that you can use? You know, do we use Dramamine only when you're on a boat? Dramamine can be used when you're in the mountains as well. But we look at it, we identify it as a boat item, and we don't put it in our survival kits. But in the event someone breaks the leg, and you need to put them out so you can set that leg, it could be a great alternative to helping them deal with pain. How are the people in your group learning? It should be the teaching should be an ongoing thing, once a month. Um, but again, I go back to what do you walk your neighborhood? You're not gonna, in the event of a disaster, if you haven't used certain muscles, that 7 days after is going to be very crucial. What climate do you live in? And are you at least prepared to defend your home in that first option, or as your first option, in the climate you live in? Whether it be a climate that gets cold, or it's a climate that stays warm, or shoot, it's a climate that's wonderful all year round. Can you defend your home in your climate for a sustained period of time? In the event of a national disaster in your area, how long can you make it on your own resources? This is Black Prepper, and that's my primary focus. There are folks that talk about bug out bags, digging holes. They spend a ton of resources on bunkers, etc., etc. That's great. I think you should start small. Identify what skill sets you do have. Work on those skill sets. Train on those skill sets. Get better on those skill sets. And then when you've mastered one ring, which is your immediate home defense, then you move on to the next. Because you can have all the more expensive things or the most expensive things money can buy. You can create the most expensive things money can create. But if you're not in any kind of shape or don't know how to defend what you have, someone will come take it. There are a lot of crazy people out there that will come take it. They just watch you put it together, and they will come take it. Be prepared to defend your home. That may be your first option for 7 days. Be prepared to defend your home. Once you're prepared to defend your home, then you start working on things outside of the home, and you loop out 10 miles, 20 miles, but that's how you should prepare. It shouldn't cost a ton of money to prepare. It should be an ongoing process with your groceries, with your lifestyle. You know, when you're brushing your teeth, you're not running the water all morning long while you're brushing your teeth. Learn to use a mouthful of water to brush your teeth. What a novel concept. Then when you switch gears and you have to survive off of a bottle of water, it might not be that hard of a thing. Try it sometimes. Take a bottle of water. See if you can make it a day with just that bottle of water. Again, it's Black Prepper. There's a lot of us out there. Don't let the internet fool you that we don't prepare. We do. So, this is the Black Prepper signing off for the night. Have a good one.